श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम ओम अखंडानंद संबोधः वंदनात् यस्य जायते गोविंदं तमहं वंदे चिदानंदतनुं गुरुम्. So yesterday we were seeing the seven states of knowledge or ignorance. So the first three states are of the state of ignorance. The fourth one is gaining knowledge. The last three is the state of knowledge. Okay. So the first stage is a plane or stage, does not really matter. The first stage or state is the state where he hears things from people about the self and other things. Then he tries to cultivate the prerequisites. He tries to gain the prerequisites for understanding it. That is the first state. It is a very auspicious thing, good thing. Therefore, that desire for that good thing is a shubha ichha. Shubha, auspicious, good, ichha, desire. Shubha ichha. Okay, see, good desire. Now, after that, he has to enter, after gaining the prerequisite, he has to enter the path of inquiry. For that, he has to do shravana and manana, to listen and reflect. That listening and reflection, they are same, right? So therefore that is called as a vicharana, inquiry. Once he starts the path of inquiry, then the mind becomes weakened from the worldly things. It becomes strong to the self. It is attracted more towards the self. It becomes weakened for the world. So since it has become weakened for the world, the mind which is not associated with the world is not a mind itself. So therefore, what we call it as is tanumanasi. Tanumanasi. Okay. Then, after gaining the tanumanasi state, it's nididhyasana basically, is contemplation, meditation. So after gaining that state, then he gets established in the truth. Sattva apatti. Sattva means existence. Truth, apatti, gaining. So he becomes established. He gains the knowledge of the self. Fourth state, sattva apatti. After gaining the knowledge of self, the other states are all state of knowledge. There is no ignorance there. But the way he is interacting with the world, based on that, some ideas are given, that's all. His knowledge or his liberation, there is no change in it. There is no special or general compartment here. It's all same. Now, after sattvapatti, after gaining the truth, after gaining the knowledge, now he is into the samadhi. Because knowledge, he is not into the world. So he is into samadhi. So that samadhi state, there he is disturbed from the samadhi by others, is the fifth state. He is disturbed by the others from the samadhi is the sixth state. And that is what we call as a non-attachment, state of non-attachment, asamsaktihi. Asamsakti, sakti, attachment, asamsakti, non-attachment. Then after that, the state where he is not coming out of the samadhi by himself, but he is pulled out of the samadhi by someone else effort. That is called as padartha bhavana. Okay. Now, the seventh state is where he is neither coming out of samadhi by himself nor by someone else. He is not coming out of samadhi itself. He is always in samadhi. That is called as turyaga. Okay. These are the 5 states. So we have, these are the 7 states. We have 7 states. So we can distribute it evenly. How evenly? See, the 4th state is the knowledge state. The before 3 states, they are ignorance state. The after 3 states, they are knowledge state. Okay. So we can understand like that. The middle state is a swapna, dream. The previous 3 ignorance state is a jagrat, waking state. And the later following 3 states, they are a suptihi, deep sleep state. But wait, knowledge state is sleep state. It should be reversed. The ignorance state is sleep state. Then we come. No. What is given is right. How? Because in Gita, very clearly Bhagavan says, Yani shasaro bhutani tasmin jagrati sanyami. In whichever is accepted to be darkness by the world, whichever is accepted to be night by the world, that is light and that is a daytime for the one who understands the truth. Okay. So this is the correct way. So, okay. Now we have three states, which is a waking, dream, and deep sleep state. Now the same 7 states, they are split into this and they are going to be explained in 10 states. 10 states? Yes. As a waking, dream, waking deep, waking sleep. But wait. It's going to be 9. This is how it is. If there are 2, then there are only 4 possibilities. If there are 3, then there are only 9 possibilities. If there are 4, there are only 16 possibilities. 2 into 2, 3 into 3, 4 into 4. Like that is the possibility. There is no other greater possibility. 5, 25, etc. That is how the rule is. So, if there are 3, waking, dream, and sleep, then there are only 9 possibilities. How can you say 10? Oh, we'll come to that later. Now, we'll see what are these 9 states. So, he says, idaṃ mameti sarveṣu dṛśyabhāveṣvabhāvanā jāgrajjāgraditi prāhurmahānto brahmavittamāḥ. So these are different states. The same idea is explained in different words. Okay. So don't get stuck to these new ideas which are given to you. Waking. What is waking? What is waking dream? There is no need for any quiz here. You hear this. This is another story which we are just weaving. You hear, fine. Understand. Try to just understand that. That's all. You don't have to remember any of this because this will be your experience. This will be your experience. So why do you have to worry about remembering any of this? So if you don't remember, fine. You have gotten rid of one more name and form. That's all. So, idaṃ mameti sarveṣu dṛśyabhāveṣvabhāvanā jāgrajjāgraditi prāhurmahānto brahmavittamāḥ. Okay? Because this is very complicated thing. Remember these things. If you don't remember, you will feel very guilty about this. I don't want you to be guilty. There is no need for any guilt. If you don't remember, it is fine. There is no need to remember these things. I told you even before. These are only some stories which we are going to weave for the people to be interested in that. You are already interested in this. Why should we be worried about remembering all this? Okay? Now, dṛśyabhāveṣu sarveṣu idaṃ mameti abhāvanā jāgratsvapnaḥ. Okay. What is jāgratsvapnaḥ? Waking. Dṛśyabhāveṣu sarveṣu dṛśyabhāveṣu, in all the objects which are perceived. In all the objects which are perceived, dṛśya, objects, bhava, objects. Okay. So in all those objects that are perceived, idaṃ mama iti abhāvanā, the absence of idea, abhāvanā. Bhavana, imagining. Bhavana, not imagining. Not imagining that idaṃ mama, these are mine. Not imagining, not having the idea that these are mine is a jāgratsvapnaḥ, is waking. Okay. Iti brahmavittamāḥ mahāntaḥ prāhu. Brahmavittamāḥ, superior among the knowers of truth. Mahāntaḥ, great men. Prāhu, they say. The great men who are superior among the knowers of truth, they say that this is waking. What is waking? Not having the idea that this is mine in the objects that you perceive. Okay? Now, second, viditvā saccidānandamayīṃ dṛśyaparamparām nāmarūpaparityāgo jāgratsvapnaḥ samīryate. Jāgrajjāgraditi, waking, after waking, dream. Right? So logically, that is what is brought in here. Viditvā saccidānandamayīṃ dṛśyaparamparām nāmarūpaparityāgo jāgratsvapnaḥ samīryate. Dṛśyaparamparām. So first we gave up the dṛśya. So what he said is a dṛśyabhāveṣu idaṃ mameti. The idea of this is mine in the worldly things. Now you see the worldly things. Ignorant people have the worldly things, right? So there dṛśyaparamparām in parampara, in the flow of thoughts of seeing, meaning pot, cloth, this, that, everything. So there is a series of objects. So in the series of objects, saccidānandamayīṃ viditvā nāmarūpaparityāgo. We are not giving the name and form just like that. By understanding whatever we are perceiving is of the inherent nature of existence, knowledge, bliss, saccidānandamayīṃ. Mayat is used. Mayat is used in two senses. One is a vikara, the other is prāchurya. Vikara means transformation. Then prāchurya means abundance. This is neither prāchurya nor vikara, but we are using in the sense of neither transformation or abundance. We are using in the sense of nature, inherent nature. Seeing the world that is perceived to be of the inherent nature of self, by seeing in that way, giving up the name and form, viditvā, by knowing like that, by understanding it to be so, nāmarūpaparityāgo, giving up the name and form. That is how you give the name and form. Now, jāgratsvapnaḥ samīryate, that is what is called a jāgratsvapnaḥ, waking dream. Okay. Now, paripūrṇacidākāśe mayi bodhātmatāṃ vinā na kiñcidanyadastīti iti jāgratsuptiḥ samīryate. Paripūrṇacidākāśe mayi bodhātmatāṃ vinā na kiñcidanyadastīti iti jāgratsuptiḥ samīryate. In the state of reflection, this is how you just give up the name and form. You stick to the self, right? By sticking to the self, giving up the name and form is what is prescribed as reflection. Now here, you are going to the meditation, contemplation. What is contemplation here? Paripūrṇacidākāśe mayi, in me, mayi, in me. Who are you? Paripūrṇacidākāśe, the absolute knowledge ether space. Knowledge space means knowledge form. That which is of the absolute knowledge form in me. Bodhātmatāṃ vinā anyat kiñcit nasti. There is nothing that exists other than the knowledge. In me, one who is of the knowledge principle, nothing other than knowledge exists. True. Knowledge, what can exist other than knowledge? So, iti jāgratsuptiḥ samīryate. This is what is called as jāgratsuptiḥ. This idea is what is called as jāgratsuptiḥ. Waking dream. In me, that is the contemplation. In me, who is of the nature of a consciousness, knowledge, there can nothing other than knowledge can exist in that. Logic, right? So that is jāgratsuptiḥ. Now, mūlājñānavināśena kāraṇābhāsaceṣṭitaiḥ bandho name atisūkṣmavimarśena svapnajāgraditīryate. Now come to the dream state. What is dream state? mūlājñānavināśena kāraṇābhāsaceṣṭitaiḥ bandho name atisūkṣmavimarśena. mūlājñānavināśena, mūlājñānavināśena, root ignorance destruction. Because of the destruction of root ignorance. What is root ignorance? There are two kinds of ignorance we saw in the beginning. mūlājñāna, tūlājñāna. mūlājñāna means the causal ignorance. tūlājñāna means the effectual ignorance. mūlājñāna means the ignorance that which hides the inherent nature of self. tūlājñāna means the ignorance which hides the objects. When we see the pot, the thought function goes and removes the ignorance that feels the pot. That is why we first say, I don't know what it is. Oh, it is pot. So that ignorance which views the objects, that is called as tula ajnana, effectual ignorance. And the ignorance that views the self is called as moola ajnana, causal ignorance. Okay. So moola ajnana, root ignorance. Here root ignorance. Let us stick to root ignorance. Moola basically is causal, but we'll stick to root ignorance. Okay. Why? I'll say. kāraṇābhāsaceṣṭitaiḥ, because of the cause, ignorance, and abhasa, the reflected consciousness. Because of this, consciousness that gets reflected in the ignorance is called as abhasa, chidabhasa. Okay. So because of this chidabhasa, the jiva state, and the ignorance, whatever happens, cheshta means activity. Because of the activity of ignorance and chidabhasa, whatever takes place, may atisvalpopi bandha na. They bring in only bondage. And that kind of bondage, even a little, even an iota, atisvalpa, even an iota does not exist in me. That bondage does not exist in me. Even an iota of bondage does not exist in me. That clarity, iti svapnajāgraditīryate. This is what is called svapnajagrata. Svapnajagrata. Dream waking. Okay. kāraṇājñānanāśādyad dṛśyabhāveṣvabhāvanā na kāryamasti tajjñānaṃ svapna samīryate. kāraṇājñānanāśādyad dṛśyabhāveṣvabhāvanā na kāryamasti tajjñānaṃ svapnajāgraditīryate. kāraṇājñānanāśāt. There, mūlājñānavināśena. Here, kāraṇājñāna. They are both same. kāraṇājñāna, causal ignorance, root ignorance there. So that's why I gave root ignorance. New moola means root. So root ignorance, I gave a translation of root ignorance for mūlājñāna. Though that is causal ignorance. kāraṇājñāna. So kāraṇājñāna, mūlājñāna, kāraṇājñāna, they are all same, right? So kāraṇājñānanāśāt, because of the destruction of causal ignorance, can there be any effect of trinities? No. So yad dṛśyatā kāryamasti. The perceiver, perceiving, perceived. The trinity form of effect does not exist. Iti yad jnānaṃ, this knowledge where there is no trinity, that is what is called as svapnasvapnaḥ, dream. Iti samīryate, that is what is called as svapnasvapnaḥ. Okay, how is that? See, you are not giving any importance to the name and form. There may be name and form, but does not really matter. You are not giving importance, it doesn't exist for you. Simple, I'll give you an example. You are going to some mall or office. So you walk, tick, 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 tick. So 2 turns and some 10 steps. Okay. Now, when you go to the second floor of the mall, you are asked how many steps did you climb and how many turns did you take? 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 steps, 10, 20. Okay. I took 4 turns and 20 steps because you are following the steps. You are conscious of the steps. Now, let us say you are talking with some friends. Now, you are asked the same question. I don't remember how many steps we climbed, but I think we took 3 or 4 turns. Okay. Now, same thing. You are thinking about something, some emergency in that, it's not a mall. Let us suppose it's a hospital. You are thinking about someone in that emergency room. You are running. You don't even think about anything. So you don't remember how many turns you took and how many steps you climbed. You are completely oblivious to that. Okay. That is the state. Or simple. When you are walking, you don't see what is there on the left or right. That There's some idea. That's all. You don't give it any importance. You don't give it any importance. There is some, let us say, some feces. Now you are not going to say, what is this? Is it from dropping of a crow or dropping of a pigeon or what is this? You are not going to worry about all that. Even if you see, you just ignore it and you are just going further. You won't even remember what you saw there. You don't give it a second glance. That is what is the state. Okay. So, dṛśyadṛśyata me nasti. The effect of seeing, seer, etc. does not exist in me because I don't give a damn to this. This is gone. They are not existent in the form name, right? So, how will that be then? atisūkṣmavimarśena svadhīvṛttiracañcalā vilīyate yadā bodhe svapnasvapnaḥ, because this is state of knowledge. So you have your mind disappearing, because akhandākāravati, what does it do? It creates it destroys all the other thought function. That is what we saw. The other thought, dṛśya, etc. It's gone. And the series of thoughts, they are gone. Now what exists is the state of the mind, the akhandākāra vritti itself. So atisūkṣmavimarśena svadhīvṛttih acañcalā vilīyate yadā bodhe svapnasvapnaḥ. atisūkṣmavimarśena, vimarsha, because of the inquiry. What kind of inquiry? atisūkṣma, very subtle inquiry. Because of that very subtle inquiry, svadhīvṛttih acañcalā yadā bodhe vilīyate. The mind, the thought function, when it merge without any activity, acañcalā means without any activity, without any transformation, without any functionality, when it merges in the bodhe, knowledge. When it merges in the knowledge, here merging does not mean it can come out. You immerse a ball in the water, it comes out, right? So it's not like that. Merging means it dissolves, gets dissolved in the knowledge. It gets dissolved in the knowledge. It disappears in the knowledge. That is what is called as svapnasvapnaḥ, dream, sleep. Okay, where the mind disappears in knowledge. Okay, now this is the fourth stage. Now we are coming to the fifth stage. चिन्मयाकारमतिभिः धीवृत्तिप्रसरे गतः आनन्दानुभवः विद्वन् सुप्तिजाग्रतीर्यते. चिन्मयाकारमतिभिः धीवृत्तिप्रसरैः गतः आनन्दानुभवः विद्वन् सुप्तिजाग्रतीर्यते. What is sleep, waking? Hey Vidvan, oh learned one. Chinmaya akara matibihi divritti prasaraihi. Chinmaya akara matibihi. Chinmaya means of the nature of consciousness, knowledge. Akara, form. Of the form of the nature of consciousness or knowledge. Matibihi, thought. The thought of the form of consciousness. Okay, thought of the form of consciousness. Let us listen. How can thought grasp the consciousness? That's a very good question. Let us listen to this. Dhivritti prasaraihi. Dhivritti prasaraihi means the manifestation of the thought function. The manifestation of the thought function in the form of the consciousness. Gataha, when that kind of thought function manifests. Anandanubhavaha, that which experience of bliss takes place. Suptijagraditīryate, that is what is called as suptijagrata, waking, dream, waking. But where is mind? The mind is gone, it's lost. So there can be no thought function of from the mind in the form. And even if there is a thought function, let us even extrapolate that there is a thought function. Still, it cannot take the form of the self. It is impossible. So you have to understand. What you have to understand is what happened to the mind in the previous state. It dissolved, disappeared in the consciousness. So there is no mind, there is only consciousness. There is no mind, there is no consciousness, there is only consciousness. So, the state of consciousness where the experience of what is that? Bliss. What is experience of bliss? What is experience of existence? Existence is bliss. There is no existence and bliss. Existence is bliss. Okay, that is called as the sleep waking. See, though we can say we have already said this. Ishvara and Guru are not different. For Vedantins, Guru is Ishvara, Ishvara is Guru. Period. Okay. Now, since the Guru is Ishvara, he can create anything. And when he can create anything, what is not possible for him when he wants to create a mind? Because what is mind? Mind is not panchikrita panchamahambhuta. You have to remember, mind is not a product of processed 5 elements. If it is processed of 5 elements, then that magic needs to be done. Here, this is not a process of processed 5 elements. It's not a processed thing. It is unprocessed 5 elements thing. So, creating it is not an impossible task for him. But if you are going to create again and again different minds, multiple minds, then there is a defect of multiple minds. Idiot. There is no defect of multiple minds. Why? Because like he created, he is going to destroy it also. It is easy for him to destroy. How can you destroy mind? If you can create, why can't you destroy? Simple. Mind is like a tool for him. Okay, like you, the electricians, wherever they go, they have a tester in their pocket. We have a pen in our pocket, right? So when you want to use a sign or write something, you use the pen, you keep it back. Similarly, this fellow, when he wants to do some transaction using the mind, he'll use the mind, he'll put it in the corner, over, destroy it, over. There is no problem for him. So now the mind, the mind means the consciousness which is experiencing the bliss. Consciousness in the form of bliss. It exists in the form of bliss. Okay? Now, the second stage. Brahmavit, this is the 4th stage. 5th stage is Brahmavit Vara, superior Brahma, knower of Brahman. Then now, superiorest, not superiorest, very superior knower of Brahman, which is the 6th stage. Now, we are talking of the 6th stage. Vrittau chiranabhutantara ānandanabhavastitau samātmatāṃ yo yāti yesha suktissvapnajāgraditīryate. Vrittau chira anubhuta antaranandanabhavastitau samātmatāṃ yo yāti yesha suktissvapnajāgraditīryate. Vrittau, the thought function. Where is that function? Let us suppose. Chira anubhuta antaranandanabhava. See, we said in the previous state, he is experiencing the bliss of the self. Now, that bliss of the self, when it is experienced for a longer time, chira anubhuta, when it is experienced for a longer time, then sthito, when that is, he is established in that experience, then samatmatam yati. There is a sama atmata, there is a equanimity. Here, equanimity means ekatmatam, kevalatmatam, not a sarvatma bhava. Ekatma bhava is said that I am the only thing that exists. Nothing exists other than me. That state. So, yati, that state, one who gains, this is what is called as a dream, sleep, dream. Okay? Iti iryate. Very good. Now, the sleep. dṛśyabhāveṣvabhāvanā kevalībhāvāvanāt padam bodhikatavaptihi sukti So, in the 5th state, he experienced the bliss. In the 4th state, he experienced the knowledge, that's all. In the 5th state, he experienced the bliss through that knowledge. Now, in the 6th state, because of being established in that bliss, he experienced the oneness. And now, in the 7th state, dṛśyabhāveṣvabhāvanā kevalībhāvāvanāt param bodhikatavaptihi sukti. Yetasya dṛśyadhīvṛttihi. This fellows, this realized ones, dṛśyadhīvṛttihi. the thought function with respect to the objects. Kevali bhavahanat has become, what is thought function of the object? There is nothing, because that has become kevali bhava, that has become of the nature of eki bhava, oneness. We saw he experiences the oneness. Now all the thought function, all the objects have merged and they have become one. Therefore, param bodhaikata vapti, he experienced that superior knowledge form, the pure knowledge. Supti supti iti. This is what is called a supti supti. See, remember, in the fourth stage also he gained only the knowledge state. At the end also he gains the knowledge state. All this bliss, knowledge, existence, they are all same. That is why he says param bodha, superior knowledge state, which is not associated with any kind of trinities. Imagined or non-imagined, does not really matter. They don't exist for him. That is what is called as a supti supti. Okay. Now, 339. What is the 10th one? There is no other permutation combination possible. Right? So he says, parabrahmavat abhati nirvikara ekarupini sarva avastha sudhara eka dṛśyaparamparām parikirtita ityavastha samullasam vimurshan muchyate sukhi. Parabrahmavat abhati nirvikara ekarupini sarvavasthasu dhara eka dṛśyaparamparām parikirtita iti avastha samullasam vimurshan muchyate sukhi. Parabrahmavat nirvikara sarvavasthasu. Sarvavasthasu nirvikara. Like the absolute self. In all the states, being without any transformation, being without undergoing any transformation, ekarupini ekadhara, in one nature, in one series, abhati, that which shines. There is nothing other than that. Therefore, one nature, one form, one sign. Over. That self-effulgence. That is called as a turiyaksha, named Turiya. Prakita, that is what is called as Turiya. That is what is called as, called through by the name Turiya. That is what is called by the name Turiya. Iti avastha samullasam vimurshan sukhi muchyate. In this way, one who sees the different kinds of forms, different kinds of states, vimurshan, and inquires into it, sukhi muchyate, he gets liberated blissfully. He blissfully gets liberated. One who inquires into these different states, which are explained, he gets liberated happily. We'll see this. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamādāya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.